Hello and welcome back to Unpopular People.
We believe that listening and learning from each other is key for personal development and success.
Today in our interview, Charlotte.
Charlotte is a female entrepreneur from Adelaide. She sells earth-friendly skincare and living products.
And she creates the products herself as well. Today we'll find out about her life and how she got there where she is now.
You will find all information about this episode on our website www.unpopularpeople.com.
You can also find our shop on www.unpopularpeople.com. There you can find different kind of clothes that you can wear to represent our Unpopular People community.
These products are earth-friendly as well. If you want to stay updated, you can sign up for our newsletter on our website www.unpopularpeople.com.
And now enjoy this very, very interesting and amazing interview with Charlotte Reimer.
Hello Charlotte, hello from the Gold Coast to Adelaide.
Hello Annalisa, how are you?
Good, how are you? Great to have you on our show today.
Yeah, thanks for your time.
Oh, thank you for having me today.
How was your day so far today?
Oh, yeah, it's been nice. I had a day with my daughter on Monday, so it's always a lovely day together. We swap activities, choosing which each of us want to do for the day, which is good. Yeah.
So this means Monday is your day off, and how does the rest of your week look like?
Yeah, so I have three work days, 3 kid-free days a week, which is Tuesday, Thursday and Friday. So that's when I have the time to fully focus on my business. But yeah, I feel like I never really stop working. So I think sometimes as a business owner, it's hard to switch off. But yeah, I'm working on it to try to make sure I try to switch off a bit more, because I think it's really important. Yeah.
Yeah, but before we get to your business and we find out everything about this and how it was created and how all the work behind it, first for our listeners, because we just met you once very briefly in our life, and most of our listeners probably don't know you because you're one of the unpopular people from our show. So maybe can you introduce yourself a little bit to our audience and tell them where were you born and how did you grow up?
Yeah, of course. So I grew up with 2 sisters and a brother. I was the third child, and I was born in Adelaide in South Australia. My parents were from New Zealand, so when we were 5, we actually moved back to New Zealand so we could get to know our family over there. And yes, I suppose things was really different when I sort of grew up. We were really Our childhood was really independent. We walked to school from the time we were 5. We made our own lunches from the time we were 5. We would spend our days at the local swimming pool with our parents, spend our days with the neighbourhood kids. It's very, very different to sort of now. But then we moved back to Australia when I was 10. So I suppose my brother and I, we both got sort of paper runs when we were early, 10 or 11, and then we, all of our, my brother and my sisters, we both had jobs part-time jobs from the time we were 13. So, we sort of knew what it was like to work hard in a way and what it was like to earn money instead of just, everything being given to us, which I'm really grateful for today. I wasn't that grateful for it back then. But, I'm glad that our parents taught us good work ethics and, that sort of thing.
But why did you, first of all, I want to know, why did you move back and forward between New Zealand and Australia? And the other question, is it very usual in Australia to start working so early, when you're 13 or 11?
Probably not heaps normal. I think we just had so much independence growing up. So we moved to New Zealand so we could get to know the family, because both my parents, all their family was from there. They had moved here when they were young and had us kids, and then so that's why they wanted to go back. And then I just realised it was just a little bit easier to sort of bring a family up over here, and so that's why we moved back here. But yeah, and then so I suppose because we had so much independence in New Zealand, my parents, we still sort of like grew up pretty independently. But these days, I couldn't imagine my son walking to school, and he's like 7, and I feel like he probably won't be walking to school by himself for a long time still, sort of thing. But we did it from when we were 5. I don't know what it was like for you two, when you started walking to school and things like that, or if you walked, or if you
we always walk to school. For us, it's normal as well. So it's like, I can't really relate to anything else.
It's a bike,
that's excellent. I think it's the best thing for kids to do that. There, that was one of my favorite things my parents taught us to do. Even though Sundays would be so hot, and we'd be like, it'll be raining, or like my mum would still wouldn't drive us, but that's okay. I'm glad now. I'm grateful to her for it.
And you said you were brought up very independently. So how do you mean that? Like, can you describe, or can you give some examples of things that are where, like, for you, in your point of view, more independent than if you compare yourself to other kids?
Yeah, well, I suppose, because I suppose we spent we would be out in the school holidays. We'd be out in the mornings from as soon as the sun rose, and we wouldn't be back until the sun went down. Would check in maybe once or twice a day, but not really much at all. Often our bikes with the neighbourhood kids and all that sort of thing. I suppose it's just really different to these days. Like these days, it's you don't really get that. You don't really see kids until they're sort of over 10. But we were doing it from 5 years old. Even just being at the local pool from when we were so I went with my brother and my sister. My brother was only 1 year older than me, and my sister was 1 year younger than me. And the three of us would go together. Would spend the entire day there. My mum never came. My dad never came. And as we grew up, like if we wanted to do sports, it was like we do sports, but you got to find someone to get you. You got to find another parent to get you there and things. It was good. We became very resourceful in a way, And then would make our lunches. Like the food was there to make the lunches, but we made our lunches from the time we started school and things like that. It's just my hubby, he had like a very sort of different bringing up. We sometimes have a little bits of jokes about it, like swapping stories about it, because but I think. My parents definitely did the best they could with the skills and tools they've got at the time, which is, and I absolutely love them for, the way they brought us up as well, because I think it's made us the people we are today.
Mm-hmm. And how was it for you back then to move back to Adelaide? I think you were used to the area and you had friends over there in New Zealand. How did it feel to move back to Adelaide?
Yeah, well, it was actually a major shock for us because pretty much every house on the street had kids where we lived, and we would be out all day with them. And then when we came to Adelaide, we didn't know anyone, and it wasn't normal to sort of like 10-year-olds to sort of be out in the street as much, sort of thing, and all mingling together. And so I was really lucky to have my brother and sister. So we were always together. We were together we stuck together like glue. So we made our own fun, and then we got the paper. We both had paper runs. My brother and I, and my little sister Greta would help us as well, and also had my older sister Anna, but she was about 8 years or 7 years older than me. So she, we were like the annoying little siblings then, but now we're actually like best friends. But back then she was a teenager and she had all these kids hanging out, and she had much better things to do. Yeah.
And what kind of education do you have, and which school did you go to back then? We went to just the local public schools. And I did rebel a little bit when I was a teenager. I'm not very proud of myself for my teenage years, but I suppose it's a good thing that you get that sort of thing out of your system then, rather than later on. So after school, I just knew that I didn't really want to go straight into university or anything like that. I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I just wanted to sort of get away from school. I did go and got a job as a receptionist in an accounting firm, and it made me realize, I did enjoy working in an office and things like that. And then I got a job as a conveyancer, as a receptionist in a conveyancing firm, which is like a property law firm. And I enjoyed that as well. And I ended up studying in that later on. And I got my qualification to become a registered conveyancer. And then I fell pregnant when I fell pregnant during that time as well. Also did a bit of travel in between. And then when I had my second, I was still working as a conveyancer, but when I was on maternity leave, I ended up watching a show I don't know if you know the ABC in Australia. The ABC.
Yeah, the channel.
Yeah. So there was a show called War on Waste on the ABC, and it's about reducing waste and things like that. And I was always really passionate for the environment, about caring for the environment and things. But when I watched that, it just completely changed my mindset and everything. I just knew that I wanted to help the environment more, and just knew that conveyancing started getting a little bit less passionate for that. And so at the same time, my dad had also purchased a property down south with 300 olive trees, which you've both been to. And it was
really nice property, by the way.
Yeah. And it's where I met you as well. And so, he'd bought a property down south, and he had 300 olive trees, and I started making little products that reduce waste, like produce bags, and I was making compostable wipes to use for my daughter because she was in nappies and things like that. And so Dad had way too much olive oil, so I said, well, why don't we try to sell it together, and I'll try to sell it for you, and I'll put some of my products together. And so then we ended up doing that, and I started selling his olive oil and a few little products at local markets and to friends and things like that. And then then my little business was born.
Yeah, that's a really, really nice and interesting success story, and we get back to this a little later. But I'm very curious, because you mentioned earlier you couldn't wait to get away from school. First of all, what was the reason for this, that you wanted to get away from school? And second of all, now you have kids yourself. What do you tell them about school?
Well, so I couldn't wait to get away from school, because I don't think I took it too seriously at the time. If I could go back to school now, I would love to go back to school now and everything, and learn all the great subjects. So for me, I suppose for my kids, I'm actually learning a lot now with my kids. Even things about grammar and English, and my son's doing science at the moment, and I love all of it now. But at the time, I just wasn't into it. I don't know if it was, because we did grow up so independently. Like my mum didn't care, my mum and dad, they didn't care a lot about grades and things like that. They just, they wanted us to, they focused on us sort of like being good people and things like that. But we didn't have to bring our grades home, and they didn't really check them that much and stuff. And I didn't know what I wanted to do as well. I had absolutely no idea. So, they didn't mind that we didn't go to uni or anything, but they wanted us to still work and things like that if we did.
But what do you think is missing in the school system? What if you could change it? What would you do different? The school system back then or today, what could you do different?
I think it was probably more myself rather than the school system. I think it was definitely, I just wasn't interested at the time. But for my kids now, with Bruce, my son, who's at school, I'm really into him doing his homework, and really want him to do well at school and focus and learn and everything like that. Because I think it is really important, because I didn't take it as seriously as what I should. And it's actually kind of fun now doing bits and pieces again with him. I actually really enjoy it, and I'm looking forward to going through this, growing up and being able to work with him through things.
Yeah, but do you have an idea? Because you said your parents were more interested in you becoming good people, and it turned out you became a really good person. So what do you think could help make people go to school and they're becoming good people? What do you think could you implement in a school?
I think with schools, I think they do teach a lot, but I feel like they could teach more. So they could teach more about life skills. Like I think things like even learning about like cooking and things like that. I did do cooking at school and I absolutely loved that subject, and I think it's really important for kids to learn how to cook and things. But even Bruce's teacher this year, she said that she's doing gratitude journaling, which I think, because I have a gratitude diary myself, and I've actually got, and both my kids have a gratitude diary. My daughter can't write yet, but she just draws things that she's grateful for. And my son, he does a picture and he'll draw next to it what he's grateful for as well. And I think like, that's really good for kids to learn that sort of thing. I think it's probably important for, I just remember, even though I knew I didn't want to go to uni or anything, I remember getting asked it a million times in year 12, like, what are you going to do at uni? I think there's also, I'm really grateful that I didn't just go to uni and do something for the sake of it. So I think it would be good if schools, maybe taught you that it's okay if you don't want to go straight away, but like, you do want to do something. I believe that from like working my passion, I believe that everybody's got like a unique skill, and it's just like you've got to tap into that unique skill. And if you can tap into that unique skill and learn that unique skill, like it's going to be completely different rather than just doing something because you've been forced to go to uni and do it. Sorry, I'm not sure if that makes sense.
No, that makes total sense. Yeah, and
okay.
also, what I wanted to know, like, can you give a bit of more? Of course, not like what you write inside, but about your you called it grateful journal or grateful journaling.
Yeah.
So how do you build it up? Like, maybe can you give some advice to our listeners? Like, how should something like this look like, and what benefit do you have?
Yeah, for sure. So with our gratitude journals, we usually, it can be simple things like, I'm grateful that the other day my son drew a picture of a bed and he was like, I'm grateful I've got a comfortable bed to sleep in. Like it was actually, I had to help him word it a bit more than that. So it was just like, I'm grateful to sleep. And I was like, we're grateful that we have a comfortable bed, or we're grateful that we've got clean drinking water, that that keeps us healthy. Like I'm grateful that we've got vegetables in the garden. So when we go pick vegetables, so each night we always say something that we're grateful for from the day, and we also say something that we would have done differently that day, and then also something that we're thankful for in our lives. So it's just it can be things that are so simple. It can be even things like that. Because they are 7 and 4. Usually it is, I'm grateful that they saw a certain friend today or something like that. But I think it's just like recognizing that the good things in life, and that so it can be it's just really, I really really enjoy mine. I think it just helps keep me a bit more grounded. And it just it can just be such simple things, but it can really just make you appreciate the little things as well.
It seems that you and your family and your upbringing, everything is very caring for each other, for other people, for the planet. So is this the reason where it comes from that you're doing these earth-friendly products today with your business?
So with that, I think I have definitely grown as a person a lot since I started my business. I started 4 nearly years ago, and I think I used to live a lot in the ego then as well. And over time, I really admire people that are like live in the consciousness, and I love learning from them. And one day, like I'm still not quite there yet, but as time goes on and I listen to people and I listen to podcasts and do my best to get grounded every day by sitting out on the grass and appreciating nature and listening to the birds and things like that. I think it takes time to sort of get to just to understand that to be happy it needs to come from inside, and peace comes from inside, sort of thing. But it definitely takes time. You can't just be like, okay, don't want to live in the ego anymore. I want to be conscious. It doesn't happen overnight for sure. Like I just can't wait to just keep working on myself, that not to let the little things bother me, to let thoughts just pass through me like clouds in a way, not get uptight or not care about things that don't really matter in a way.
And what tools do you have to be resilient and to bring you back in this mood?
Yeah, definitely. So my biggest tool, and it's even the kids, we do this a lot, and it's quite funny when they tell me to do it as well. So is breathing. Breathing is everything to me. So I find if I can sit and take, so I'll, you get a little bit of road rage or you get something like that, and then sometimes I'm like, no, it doesn't matter. 6 deep breaths, like real 6 deep breaths, and then after that, it just seems to not matter as much, and you can seem to let it just pass you by. And I think one of the biggest things as well is just getting out. I just love nature. I think nature is just the most magical thing in the world. So, just going and sitting outside on the grass with my shoes off, or, doing a meditation. That's like, not every day is perfect. I don't get to do meditation every day, but just doing those, just like, if I'm washing the dishes, just focusing on my breathing while I'm washing the dishes, not like trying to rush through it as quickly as possible, sort of thing. Just trying to be present in the moment. I think that's, one of the biggest things sometimes. Yeah, that helps me a lot. It's just breathing and just not trying to let anything and I've also got one other quote that I say to myself when I really need it, and it's beautiful things happen when you distance yourself from negativity. So if something's like really eating up at me, I'll just say that over and over again. Beautiful things happen when you distance yourself from negativity, like over, and then I'm like, okay, cool, feel better now. And then like it's normally the thoughts normally pass, or the feelings, the emotions normally pass. Yeah.
And where do you take the confidence from facing all these challenges as a female entrepreneur?
So I suppose I have a lot of amazing mentors, which I look up to. I've built a really beautiful tribe. I'm part of a business focus group in Adelaide, so I'm able to. So we're really good, and we're really big on supporting each other. And I'm all about focusing on my own. Not every day's a diamond. I don't always get it right, but I try really hard to focus on my own path, like not try to look at what other people are doing. One thing that I find that can really bring you down is social media. So, social media is like, I've got a really big love-hate relationship. I love it because it's amazing to be able to have a business and be able to have an online business, because I get a lot of business, like a lot of clients from there, and a lot of like orders, and I can communicate with my customers. So it's good in that way, but you can look at it and everyone puts their best face on social media. So I have a lot of boundaries with it. I've deleted both the apps off my phone, like Facebook and Instagram. I try to only look at it on my computer. If I have to every few days I might have a scroll just to sort of catch up, because I appreciate other people checking in with me. I don't want to completely let it go, but just by taking it off my phone, I find that I don't look at it nearly as much. I sometimes do download it to put a post up on my personal Facebook page, or sometimes I need to download it to put it on my business Instagram page. But I just always make sure I take it off my phone like the night before I go to bed, because I don't want to get up in the morning and look at it, because I just find them sitting in your mind all day. And so I just sort of time back a little bit of time for social media. So just by having these boundaries, I've just completely like detoxed myself from it, and I'm not just mindlessly picking up my phone and scrolling through it, and I'm finding I'm not getting as much anxiety about what other people are doing. I'm just focusing on my own path. And I used to get like a bit of anxiety and be like, oh, this person's doing better than me. Oh, I haven't got any orders this week and all this sort of stuff. But now I just think, no, I've built a really amazing community. The orders are steady. I have lots of regulars. Like, I get good feedback. If I get a bit of break now, I just enjoy that break. And then, when it's busy, I appreciate the busyness. When it's quiet, I really appreciate the quiet times. Yeah. So those sorts of things all really, really help me. Yeah.
And how did you find the mentors? You said you have mentors also in Adelaide, and how did you find them? Like, did you just go online and Google mentors? I don't believe so.
Yeah, so I do a lot of workshops. I do a lot of workshops where I'm in everything from tax to products to social media to anything and everything. my main mentor, I met her about 3 years ago, nearly 3 years ago, at a adult learning centre, and yes, I met her in an adult learning centre, and she's a digital marketer, and she's just guided me the whole way through, and she's been there for me. She's lets me ask her questions. We work together quite a lot. So she's been absolutely excellent. Her name's Kelly. And then also through her, I met a lady called Tammy, who's also part of the conveyance industry, but I formally met her through my friend Kelly. And she's a lady that runs like a business focus group. So we've got about, I think there's nearly 60 different business owners in there. And we go to a meeting once a month, and we bring our problems to the table, and we help each other out, and we've just all got each other's back, which is just really, really nice. So, and you don't feel sometimes you can feel a little bit alone working for yourself. So, just having all these other business owners to bounce ideas off, and bring your problems to or issues, or not even concerns, advice, anything. We're there for each other. So, I think it's really important to just keep learning and keep growing and keep meeting new people throughout it.
How do you find your mentors, and do your mentors know that there are mentors for you? How do you manage it?
So I suppose my biggest mentor, Kelly, she's like the kindest heart in the world. She actually just won at the SA Women Awards that we talked about earlier before this. She actually just won like a community award on so she didn't see the award coming at all, but she's so well deserving of it. So she's a mentor to so many people, and we're all so grateful for her. But we do work together as well, so we do have we've got a little bit of a business relationship as well. And then but she's just got a heart of gold that she doesn't mind, or hopefully doesn't mind. I hope we are friends as well. So hopefully we can. We've got a back and forth relationship as well. Hopefully, So it's and we are, a lot of these people we are friends with, but we can sort of help each other and feed off each other. And I suppose that's what my business focus group is about. It's all coming together as a community and being there for each other. Which is really nice to have.
We're taking a quick break and be right back into the show.
Like Charlotte told us about her community, we have a community too.
To join us, visit our website www.unpopularpeople.com and sign up for our newsletter.
On our website, you'll find our Unpopular People shop with Unpopular People clothes and fitness services that represent our community.
And now back to the show. And you have 2 kids, you said, and you're married as well. So what does your husband do? And how can he support you, or does he support you in any way? I mean, not only taking care of the kids, probably now as well. So so how is the support from home?
So I'm really, really lucky to have a wonderful husband who helps me so much. He's actually just come in the room. We just had to go for a walk, so they keep coming in to get some hats. But so he's a really, really good man. He does have a pretty full-on job. He works as a service technician, and he's on call regularly for work and things like that. So he doesn't help me. So he doesn't help a lot with the business, but I do get him to help out with deliveries every now and then. I'm like, which suburb are you going to today? And he's like, just tell me what you want and where you want me to drop it. And I'm like, okay. But I'm really, really lucky. But he's like, I don't think we're ever going to take the family business on together or anything like that, because he's not really interested in learning about how to make skincare. But at the same time, because my job's so flexible, I'm the main person with the kids. Like I organise them going to school and kindy and all the paperwork for all of that sort of, and like organise the house. And he's out working. So I suppose I'm lucky in that way, because I'm not in any major rush for my business to have to take off or anything like that, because he's the sort of breadwinner for the family. But my business does still help as well to keep it afloat. But I'm really lucky that we can make it work that way as well.
Tell us a little bit about your business. What is your philosophy behind it?
Yeah, sure. So, so my products, I make them with the aim of for them to be earth friendly, like free from nasty chemicals. That also reduce landfill, and so I make things like I've got them all in my office today. So I've got them. I make lots of skincare ones. So I make like face oils and toners and balms, like lots of body balms. I make it like a natural deodorant. One of my biggest sellers is compostable wipes, which is sort of what I've started off with, and make soap as well, and Play-Doh, and reusable produce bags and lip balms. So I make lots of different things. I also refill all of my product. I have the service, the service that you can refill any of my products. So most of my customers are regulars because they do refill everything. So once a month they order pretty much, because all my products you can use in everyday life like that. Like I use them in everyday life, and that's why I've developed them so other people can as well. So I know most of my regulars do like a order once a month, and they order everything, they give me back the empties, and then I've got like a refill system what I offer. So with refills, I like anything that's glass, I wash in hot soapy water, and then I put it in the dishwasher, and then it gets cleaned and sterilised through the dishwasher, and then it comes out, and then I actually put them in the oven now, so it actually like just for that last sort of sanitising part, and then so that cleans them really well. Plastic, I don't put plastic in the dishwasher, so I just wash that in hot soapy water, and then I just sanitize that with like a rubbing alcohol spray. And then if people want to when people refill, they give me back their empties. I take empties and I do that process. But then whenever I make products, I normally make everything at least like once a month. And so if I make a batch of 12, I'll make a batch of 12, and then 3 of them will be used with refilled jars, so the ones that have been cleaned and sanitized, and then and then I'll make 1 for myself, which is in a refill jar as well. And then so it's like say 4 refills, and then the other 8 will be in brand new jars. And then that's what, if you make a purchase for the first time, you get like a brand new one. And then if you're making a refill purchase, you'll get 1 from my refill stock. And then you usually get about $1 off the jar. But I also make compostable wipes, and I make them pretty much like nearly every third day. And they're in a container, and people use them for all sorts of things. They absolutely love them, but they're made in plastic, and I don't put plastic in the dishwasher. So I just clean them, and then I sanitize them with my rubbing alcohol, and then and then they're made out of paper towel, and they're made with like earth friendly, like surfactant, like a detergent, and essential oils and that sort of thing, and they've got a preservative in them because they're a water product. But it's really, I feel so lucky that I'm able to offer that service, because I look at these jars, like my glass jars and all my packaging, and I'm like, they're so beautiful. I don't know how anyone could once and then throw them away, because so much has gone into like creating them in themselves. And so even though most of the time my discount ends up being like more than what I actually pay for a bottle, like I just love that it's just reusing, and it's like, I just love that it's better for the earth. Yeah.
And where do you source all the ingredients from? Are they locally from the area around?
Yeah, so there's a shop in the city where I get lots of things from. It's the Honey Shop in the city. But since I've gotten bigger, and last year I did some formal study in natural skincare, and I actually changed a lot. I introduced some new products, and I also changed and improved a lot of my products, because just as a reflection of my study. And now they're all still completely non-toxic ingredients and things like that. But I have had to, like things like preservatives, because I use some preservatives that are natural and that can be used in organic skincare and things. But if you formulate with water, you need a preservative. Like, it's just a non-negotiable, because water just can contaminate so easily. And so, and you can't really just go onto a shop and buy a preservative. So I do have to buy them online, but they're from a place I think it's actually in Queensland, so near you. So I still get everything from Australia, just to keep my carbon foot down. I always do my best to try to source anything as ethically as possible. All my packaging is from a place in Adelaide and things like that. Yeah, I'm really, really big. When it was like a lot smaller and I needed a small product range, it was easy to go to shops and buy what I needed. But now that it's getting bigger and more professional, I do have to go to a few different, go a bit further out than Adelaide. Yeah.
And where do you produce all your products? Are you doing them?
The same question.
Are you doing them? Are you doing them still in your kitchen? This is where you started, right?
Yeah. So I'm actually at the moment I'm still doing it in my kitchen. So my 3 work days a week when I don't have kids, that's when I make anything. I don't make anything with kids at home because it's too. I can get orders ready, but I can't make anything with kids here because I need to focus. And also because when I make them, I clean my. I have to completely sterilize my kitchen. So I clean everything down with hot soapy water, and then I sterilize it all with my rubbing alcohol solution and paper towel. And then all of my making ingredients is all kept separately. So it's all in a drawer. I've got my beakers and my scales and my whisks and everything, and it's all kept separately to everything else, like to all of our normal kitchen stuff. And I'm really big about quality control, and because I do make it from home, I just try to make it sure I'm making it as sterile as possible, because it's in like my best interest to make sure my products are as clean and sterile as possible, because I want them to be as effective as possible for my customers, because it's my business, it's my passion, I love it so much. I am actually building a little studio at the back of my house at the moment. So we're just in the process of drawing up the plans for that. And that's starting in a couple of weeks, the first part of it. So then I'll be able to make everything out there shortly, which will be good. And hopefully it helps me switch off a little bit more by having my studio separate from the house. Because at the moment it's quite hard to switch off, because I sort of have to walk past my office to get anywhere in my house. So it's very easy to sneak in here and just do a little bit of work. Yeah,
I can imagine. And so you said you go to a lot of workshops, but like all this knowledge about sterilizing and creating those products, where do you get this from? Like, where did you learn it? Like, only from workshops, or like what did you do?
So over time, I've learned all about the sterilization and everything, but I learned a lot of it from when I studied natural skincare. So that definitely took my business to a whole new level. And so when I studied, it teaches you, about how to
study
sterilize
at university, or where did you study?
No, I just did it online. So it was with the School of Natural Skincare, and it was really, really, really fantastic course. And they are a really amazing community. Like they're always. So I did like a proper sort of like certificate in school with in natural skincare, and then they also offer short courses all the time as well. So like about every 6 to 8 weeks, they offer like a little snippet course. So last month they had one about the toxic chemicals to avoid, which I sort of knew, but would just have that bit of refresher. But they're always offering little short courses as well along the way. From there, and also from studying formally with them, I've also got tutor access. So if I've ever got any issues, or if I've got any questions, I can contact them and be like, hey, what do you think about this? Or what do you think? Do you think this preservative would go with that, or something like that? And they'll be like, oh, yes. Well, usually they say yes, but they'll be like, oh, maybe try this instead, or something like that. So it's really, really good having access to like professionals as well, to be able to just check everything with them as well. Yeah.
And like we were for like a couple of weeks in January, we were living in a van, and we were traveling around Queensland, and when we saw you last year, when we met you last year in Adelaide at the olive farm, you gave us a little thing, like an itch relief balm, and
it's awesome. Yeah, we use them all the time for when we had the itches from the mosquitoes.
And like, how do you come up with, like, how do you know like what has to be in there to relieve the itching? Like, I don't understand. Like, how do you come up with this?
Yeah. So the itch relief balm, that was actually one of my first products from the beginning. I remember I've always been drawn to balms. I just love balms so much from when I was
a kid sort of thing. And so I really wanted to, when Dad had all this olive oil and stuff, I really wanted to make a balm. So I sort of looked it up how to make a balm and used beeswax, and then I infused the olive oil with lavender, and then I made a balm, and I was like, oh, well, what's this good for? So then I sort of like did a bit of research into like what you could be used for, and it was like, oh, that could be used for like itchiness. So I started using it as itch balm, but then over time, because everything has changed a lot, this was nearly 4 years ago, I've sort of found better ingredients like olive oil can sometimes, even though it's such a beautiful product, beautiful ingredient, it can also be a little bit like harsh on sensitive skin. So then I've changed it to find oils that are like a little bit lighter, a little bit more gentler for sensitive skin, especially kid skin and things like that. And then the essential oils, I've done a lot of research into essential oils as well to see which one can help relieve itching and things like that, because essential oils is something I use a lot of. So
What are essential oils? What are essential?
So they're from plants. So you can get like lavender, which is pressed like in a chemically pressed and made. So it's like tons and tons of lavender sort of pressed and then made into sort of like droplets.
Okay.
Well, like I don't know. You have to. There's all different types of qualities of essential oil, but it's sort of pressed from the seeds, the flowers, or the seeds of the seed, there's so many different types. There's like lemon and lime and what else? There's eucalyptus, which is and then there's so many. There's tea tree, and I use a lot of them. But as time goes on, I'm learning so much more. I've learned so much about them, and you do have to be quite careful with them. We have to be careful with them because they are very strong, and you only need it. I always sort of go on the lower dilution, like rather than higher. I'm always really cautious with them as well because they can be skin irritant as well, and also they are just really, really powerful because there's so much of a plant pressed into drops. So I've got lots of rules with them and things like that. Yeah, with what you shouldn't do with them. And, you've got to be careful with them if you're pregnant or if you're breastfeeding, or with kids, there's certain ones. Even, I was just talking to one of my tutors the other day and, we're talking about one of the formulas and, if you're going to use them, you shouldn't even really use them on kids under 6 months and things like that as well. So, you've just got to be really careful with them because they are so highly concentrated.
Okay. And how do you say you have some regular customers or regular clients that do also the refills with you and everything? But how do you in general, how do you find your customers?
So I've got a website, so I get orders from there, but social media, this is my love relationship I have with social media, not the hate one. So I'm able to communicate with social media as well, and that picked up a lot of new customers as well. Yeah, and word of mouth, I get a lot from word of mouth. So, Christmas is always great for me. I always get lots of people buying things as presents and, the busy times of year, that sort of thing. Markets. I did do quite a lot of markets. I've tried to do 2 since March last year, and both of them were cancelled. One in March, and then the other one was when COVID first hit. And then I tried to do one in November, but that's from Adelaide. Adelaide got hit with a little cluster, so that got cancelled as well. So I'm a little bit cautious on markets at the moment and bit off them because you sort of go to so much effort to get ready for them, and then if they get cancelled 2 days before, it's
But do markets usually work? Is it profitable?
Yeah, they are a lot of work for what you get back, but you can spend a whole week preparing for them. And I remember the first market I did, I would have made, probably $50 to $60 or something in the ages. But every market you get better and better, and you over time, make a lot more than that when I go to a market. But you always tend to pick up a couple of regulars. You get to meet lots of people. You get to talk to people. So they're definitely worth it. They're definitely worth it. I really enjoy getting out with the public and
meeting new people and talking. I love talking formulating. I don't know if you've noticed. I love talking about products and everything like that. So if I get a chance to do that, it's exciting.
And from where do you know what the people will buy most on the markets? So how do you prepare? I guess you have some bestsellers you take in general, but all markets are a little bit different, right?
Yeah. So that's a really good question. I normally take probably about a bit of everything. I sort of like know what sells well now. So I know that like my wipes are going to sell well, and I know that like the balms sell well and all that sort of thing. There's Play-Doh. That always seems that people seem to love that, and soaps and things. So if I just take a little bit of everything, but the thing is, because like I have so many regulars, I know it's going to sell anyway. So I just have to make extra of a few things. So and then if I have things sitting for a little while, I date everything when I make anything. So with my regulars, I'll normally chuck in, something that I've had sitting for a little while if it needs to be used up, just as a bit of a loyalty to say thank you. So that's a good way to sort of move on stock, and everyone's happy as well. And then they usually come back and buy it when they run out. So it's great. So I usually give them something. that they haven't like, used before or tried. So yeah.
And what's your personal favorite product?
My personal favorite product, I do like a face oil, which I really, really love. So it's what I put on before I go to bed at night. Once I've washed my face, and then I do my toner spray, and then I put my face oil on, and then I wake up in the morning, my face is just so soft, and I just love it so much. So that's probably one of my favorite.
Elisa would love this too.
It's really nice. And then I also love I love everything. I suppose, my deodorant's pretty handy to have that. And my lip balms, I use them every day. I do like room sprays as well, which are really, really lovely. They help me if I need them just to help sleep at night, or just help bring a nice aroma in the room. But everything I use, soap, obviously, everything's like essential, like for you to keep yourself like well. So everything I use. So, but definitely my face oil was probably my favorite. I do have a face spritz as well, which I really like using as well. That's really lovely.
And what is your long-term goal? Like, what do you want to achieve?
So my long-term goal would be so my next goal is to build a studio out the back and spend a few years there. And then eventually I'd love to move the business off-site and, maybe have some staff and maybe have people doing the deliveries, because at the moment I do most of the deliveries as well. At the moment I do pretty much everything. So, maybe have people to help make things and have them to help deliveries. And so then, I can just focus on creating product lines and running the business. That's probably about a 7-year goal. So, but you got to start early. But and also to get into more shops and things like that. I haven't really been in a massive hurry to, because I've got a really good client base, and I've got a couple of little wholesale orders and things, people that get wholesale products from me. But I'm not in a massive rush at the moment to get into shops and things. Like I would like to in the very near future, but not quite yet, because it's my daughter's last year before she goes to school, and I really enjoy like the downtime as well, and I really enjoy the time with my kids. So I'm all about just taking it slow and steady. I think there's just so much learning to do, and I want to make sure I get things right.
Mm-hmm. And what if you become very, very popular and very successful with your products? Like, I don't know, I don't know any other brand. Is there any like a very popular skincare brand in the whole world? What would you do differently? Would you just keep on doing it as you do? Like, I mean, of course, you said you go off-site, so you would like probably find like a place where you can produce it with like people as staff and everything. But do you think you would change anything in your business behavior?
I think for sure. Like this year, I really want to start donating to a charity, like a certain percentage of profits. And I would also, once my kids do get a little bit older, I'd really love to give back whatever I can. So give back a bit of my time. I feel I have so much to be thankful for, and some people don't have much. So if I can, maybe train some people that don't have many skills, or just give back my time, just help people and just do what I can. I think time is such a precious thing, and if you can donate that to people, and if I am able to in the future, and if I do have staff and things like that, I can focus on just seeing what I can do to give back to this wonderful world.
And have you ever thought of doing like workshops yourself, like from all your knowledge and all this knowledge that you gained the last years, and even now you still do? So have you ever thought of something like this?
I think definitely. I have done a workshop before for someone. They came around here and I taught her a few little things. It was actually a teenager that was like, her mum asked if I could help her, and I really enjoyed that as well. Eventually I'd love to get into workshops. That would be a really great way, just to share and not share what I've learned, because I feel like I loved it. I love everything about natural products and how we can reduce our footprint, and if anything I can do to give back and to share with other people it would be awesome.
Where can people find out more about your products and your company?
Yeah, sure. So my website is www.earthymar.com.au. So it's Earth with a Y and then Mar is an MA. And then I'm also on social media at the same as @earthymar_Shah, but I don't I'd rather like meet people in person, and I don't want to make it like a advertising saying that you got to go there. So
what does Earthy Mar, where does the name come from?
I used to actually be called Love Earth Products when I first started, and I made up the name within an hour. I didn't think it through. I didn't research it, and then once I started going, I realized Love Earth Products it wasn't unique at all. So I decided to change it over time, because I just was clashing. And then so I decided, I took the time, instead of taking an hour, I took like 9 months to change my business name, and I went through everything. I still really wanted to keep the earth, and I wanted to keep my part of my logo and things like that. So, but I wanted it one word. I wanted it a little bit different. So I didn't want to happen this time what happened last time and be clashing with so many people. And so then I came up with Mar, because I call my mum Mar. I live in a suburb called McGill, so it's like Mar Gill, and it just felt really right. And because my products are sort of for mums as well, and because mum can be used as Ma as well, and it just felt really right. I went through so many things, and I just wanted something short and sharp, and it really made sense to go with that.
Yeah, nice. That's very interesting to hear. We would be very happy if we could support you in any way.
Awesome.
Yeah, and also your products, we can highly recommend them.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Thank you very much. This was a great conversation today.
Sorry, and I just want to say as well, thank you to you both so much as well. I think you're doing so fantastic with these podcasts. I've learned so much from listening to your episodes, and it's been really nice to meet you both, and I really appreciate you chatting to me today as well.
Yeah, thank you very much. For us, it's also very nice to have people like you on the show, and to get learn from you, and we can always learn from each other. That's why we say listening and learning from each other is the key for personal development and success, and we really try to live it. And today we're both really busy, so we're coming home from a long day, and sometimes it's, of course, we're a bit tired, and English is not our first language, so we're trying to look for words and sentences and questions to ask, and but that's why it's good to have something like this on recorded, because you can listen to it again, and you can go through it again, and you can show it to other people, and you can always improve, and there's always something to improve in life. And what you said is absolutely correct, and we totally agree with you there. We're trying to really do our best by doing something good for nature, and of course you can't turn around from one day to the other and throw away every plastic piece in the house and everything that's not good for you. But you can start with some small steps. And
definitely,
if you start with something, it's usually like with exercise, it's the same. Like when you start with exercising, you do like one little thing, and then like one thing leads to the other. So that's good. And if anyone is out there listening to this, and just start with something, whatever it is. If it's your skincare, if it's your clothes, if it's your body in general, if it's your health, if it's your social environment, if you're just being nice to other people, if you don't have enough money to buy like earth-friendly products, but if you don't buy them, like encourage other people to buy it, encourage other people to get the knowledge. And so that's great. So thank you very much for your work. We really appreciate it.
Thank you from my side as well. We really learned a lot today. Thank you for your time, Charlotte.
Yeah, so we said enough from our side, and if there's any final words to the listeners, we say goodbye, and now there's time. Thanks.
So thank you so much. And as you said, just start small, start with, anything, but like all I can recommend is just try not to do too much at once. Just do one little thing at a time if you are trying to make changes in your life for the better and things like that, because you don't want to get overwhelmed. For sure. Maybe I'll share my favorite quote, which is, we don't need a handful of people doing zero waste perfectly. We need millions of people doing it imperfectly. And I think that's just a really powerful quote because, I'm just all about how we can reduce our footprint and things. But I'm by nowhere near perfect, but I'm always just trying to do my best by the environment. And I think once, we just do our best we can until we know better, and then we sort of do better in a way. So, but I just also think that if you're doing your best, it's okay. Not every day is going to be perfect, but just keep trying, keep learning, and keep growing, and just keep respecting the beautiful earth that we live in, because nature is just so amazing. It's just the best, and it gives us so much, and it doesn't expect anything back. And I think so if we can do what we can to do right by it, and hopefully it will look after us too. So I think that's probably it from me. So thank you so much, Ben and Lisa.
Thank you very much for listening.
We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did.
You'll find all information about this episode on our website www.unpopularpeople.com.
Please sign up for our newsletter to join our community.
Bye bye.